Are you looking for the best video game consoles? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best video game consoles on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Xbox Series S. For those who love to game but don't need an all-powerful console, the Xbox Series S is a slight downgrade from the Xbox Series X in terms of tech, but it's $200 cheaper and it's still capable of doing what the Series X can in terms of game content and general functionality. You can read more about the Series X below. The Series S is much smaller, so if you like to bring your console to your friend's house, it's easy to do so. Controllers. Xbox controllers are battery-operated and connect wirelessly to the console. Depending on the game, you can typically have up to 4 controllers connected to one Xbox at a time. You can even use the controller to save and share gameplay moments that you want to remember. It's also possible to have separate accounts so everyone in the family can play their own way. You set up passwords using the controller, where each button on the controller represents a certain number, so no one can mess with anyone else's saved game. Gameplay. There's no disk drive in this one, so in order to play games on this console, you can either download them from the Xbox Marketplace or you can subscribe to Xbox Game Pass. There are 2 tiers, either $10 or $15 a month, and even at the cheaper tier, you gain access to hundreds of video games across the console. Some games don't even need to be downloaded. You can play over Xbox's new patented Xbox Cloud Gaming, where you stream the game over the cloud. For the ones you do have to download, you have 512 gigabytes of built-in storage on your console. If you need more, you can attach an external hard drive, allowing you to increase its storage space by more than double. Lab Lowdown. Our experts were impressed by the streaming feature where they didn't have to download content. They were shocked at how well the games performed over the cloud, with little to no slowdown or frame rate loss. There was still a slight improvement in graphics after downloading the game versus playing over the cloud, but overall, the feature works well. One of our testers said this console was the quietest gaming console I have ever owned despite the built-in fans that help keep it cool. CPU 8X cores at 3.6 GHz, 3.4 GHz with SMT. Custom Zen 2 CPU. GPU 4 teraflops, 20 CUs at 1.565 GHz custom RDNA 2 GPU. RAM 10 GB GDDR6 128-bit wide bus. Frame rate up to 120 FPS. Resolution 1440p. Disk drive not applicable. Storage 512 GB custom NVMe SSD plus external drive capabilities. Number 2. Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X is the most advanced Xbox with a cleaner look and the highest video resolution of any Xbox console to date. It has a disk drive, but that doesn't mean you can't download games to its 1 TB solid-state drive, SSD. The SSD makes the console faster, quieter and overall, more powerful than its predecessors. It's a big console, standing about a foot tall in the vertical position, but it can be oriented horizontally as well. Controller. The controller is actually smaller than the consoles before it. This allows for more comfortability in children's hands, while still being comfortable enough to be used by an adult. Each controller has a headphone jack, so feel free to plug in some headphones so you can talk to your friends during live gameplay and listen to the game through them. You can also utilize certain Bluetooth headsets if you don't want to connect everything through a cord. Gameplay. If you are new to gaming, look into getting the Xbox Game Pass. You pay a maximum of $15 a month, and you get access to hundreds of games from older generational games to brand new releases and even indie games. One of our consumer testers said, "I've had a great experience. Xbox Game Pass makes this console very user-friendly for new gamers." While this console is built to play games, it also has TV streaming functionality. No need to purchase a smart TV when you can just get a console with the ability to both game and stream your favorite apps all in one. Lab Lowdown. While we didn't get the chance to test this device in our lab, we worked with individuals who have played almost every single console and asked for their thoughts on the Xbox Series X. They loved how easy it was to navigate through the Xbox, as well as how quick everything started and loaded due to the solid-state drive. CPU 8X cores at 3.8 GHz, 3.66 GHz with SMT, custom Zen 2 CPU. GPU 12 teraflops, 52 CUs at 1.825 GHz custom RDNA 2 GPU. RAM 16 GB GDDR6W/320-bit wide bus. Frame rate up to 120 FPS. Resolution up to 4K. Disk drive yes. Storage 1 TB custom NVMe SSD plus external hard drive capabilities. Number 3. Nintendo Switch OLED Game Console. The newest addition to the Nintendo Switch console family, the Switch OLED is a small but noticeable improvement over the original Switch for a small bump in price. And this console doubles as a handheld. The main upgrade comes in the bigger, more vivid OLED screen, which makes this the best console to play Nintendo games on. While it's tough to say which console has the best exclusives, it's true that Nintendo is the most alluring because its games have only ever, and will only ever, be available on Nintendo consoles. As such, if you want to play any title with characters like Link and Zelda, Mario and Luigi, or Tom Nook and Isabelle, this is the best option. The Switch OLED also has better speakers than the Switch, a much better kickstand for tabletop gaming, and an Ethernet port on the docking tray. It also has 64 GB of internal storage, compared to the original Switch's 32, or you can upgrade your storage with an inexpensive microSD card. Platform Nintendo eShop. Storage 64 GB. Display compatibility Full HD. Graphics processor speed 60 frames per second. Number 4. Nintendo Switch Game Console. The best-selling console on the market, the Nintendo Switch distinguishes itself in two ways, through its unique form and its excellent library of exclusive games. For families with multiple gamers in the household, the Switch is an affordable, incredibly versatile console that'll be as satisfying for hardcore RPGs and indies as it is for family-friendly couch co-ops. The Joy-Con controllers double when you take them off the console, and buying extras is easy. I've used my Nintendo Switch for years, bringing it with me on many trips. While I can complain for ages about the Joy-Con drift, which is a buzzkill when you're in the middle of a battle, the Switch is an accessible console that, up until recently, see our Steam Deck review, was the only device to make true high-quality gaming portable. And it looks decent on the TV, too. You can't ignore the swath of kid-friendly games, from Mario plus Rabbids, New Hope to Mario Party and Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Combine these Nintendo titles with great indie game offerings like Hades and Hollow Knight, and the Nintendo Switch offers the best catalog of games for players of all ages. Playing indies is one of my favorite ways to use my Switch because the graphics are often less intensive for these games. And the handheld form lends itself to artistic and inventive games with shorter playtimes. Key specs. Platform Nintendo eShop. Storage 32 GB. Display compatibility Full HD. Graphics processor speed 60 frames per second. Number 5. Valve Steam Deck Video Game Console. If you're an experienced gamer, especially one who prefers to play on the PC, Valve's Steam Deck is probably the most interesting console on the market. If you're new to gaming, its finicky nature might make you want to quit the hobby altogether. With impressive specs and a novel open-source platform that makes it almost entirely customizable, the Steam Deck is a handheld of the future. But it needs some work to become the go-to console for every gamer. For now, test editor Hunter Fenelal recommends it for PC gamers and anyone who's into tweaking every last configuration. These days my Steam Deck puts the latest game releases, complete with PC features like customizable button mapping and game modifications, right in my hands, Fenelal writes in his review. It lasts up to 8 hours when I play less demanding indie games, and a bit over 2 hours when I play AAA titles at their highest settings. That's a hell of a lot longer than the single hour I get from my gaming laptop. He also says the ergonomics are excellent, though the console isn't exactly discreet. Although the Steam Deck looks massive at first glance, especially side by side with a console like the Switch, the ergonomics are some of the comfiest found on any handheld. As long as you're comfortable tinkering with settings, the Steam Deck is an incredibly powerful PC and a handheld that can transform your gaming life, fit with a seamless SteamOS interface that works just as well on handheld as it does on PC and TV. Key specs. Platform Steam. Display compatibility up to 8K. Storage 64 GB, 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 TB. Graphics processor speed up to 120 frames per second.